Tell us about the game, Coach. How do you feel?
I'm just really proud of our guys. They play really hard. Obviously, the environment is different than it is on House Field. Back there it was 71 degrees or something like that when we practiced on Wednesday in pads. And yesterday before we left, a cool morning, and so it's not easy to go into that. But the guys are just, that's the thing about our players is, they go out to Camp Buckner in the summer, and they might sleep in the sleeping bag and, no covering. It's 47 degrees and raining on them. And they wake up, and by that afternoon it's 98. And they're wearing the same uniform, carrying the same 100-pound rucksack. And so, our guys don't get affected by the elements. It does not faze them. It doesn't change who they are. And they didn't allow that to happen today. I think our guys were really excited to have a chance to play in the first conference game. I think that was certainly a motivation for us. But I really like our team. They're tough. They play hard for each other. There's no egos. Everybody's just happy to see us have success, see guys contribute, and they're resilient. We had our backs to the wall some. Obviously, that exchange before half where we turned the ball over and they took it down and scored, converted on a 3rd and 13. It was a ball game at halftime. But then to go out there in the second half and make a play on special teams to get a score and to have that unit contribute like that, and a great play by Matt Rhodes and a great block by Owen Walter, this long snapper, and Hayden Reed, and then the goal line stand. That was huge, getting that goal line stand. So I'm just really proud of our team. They fought hard. It's good to get a victory down here on the road.
Coach, you're up 10 points with when you tried the field goal, when you faked it for the touchdown. What was your thinking? We were talking in the press box about how going up 13 is pretty much the same as going up 10. You're up 2 scores. Obviously, the third touchdown puts you up by 3 scores. Was that your thinking? What was your thinking?
It's still a 2-score game. 10 points and 13 points is still a 2-score game. But scoring 7 there, 17 points, it's no longer a 2-score game. So and we had taken that thing off the 4-yard line all the way out there and just dropped the touchdown pass. Didn't throw a great ball, and we kind of had been holding that for the opportune time, and that was just the right time to do it. We weren't probably going to be able to make that first down if we left the offense out there. And if we didn't get the field goal, or if we didn't get the touchdown, we didn't get a first down on that fake, it's still a 2-score game.
Thank you.
Coach, how important was it to get out to the 14-0 lead, get the offense going? And then on the day, over 400 yards rushing, strong performance, Noah Short, and obviously Bryson. How do you feel just to have the offense playing that well?
What happens with this offense, the defense that we're facing, they never face anything like that in practice. It's really hard for their scout team to simulate that. The speed, the timing, all of those things. But as the game gets going, oftentimes defenses get better at defending it. And we get those first 2 scores, and really you saw their defense kind of settle in. They made some changes. They made some changes in the secondary on the way that they were supporting the run, and they played better. And that's an athletic, I think it's a good defense, very athletic defense. And they did a much better job as the first half went along, and certainly in the second half. But we were able to get the ball in the perimeter some. Obviously, Noah Short running for a bunch of yards, and if we can get the perimeter game going, that allows us to still be able to run the fullback and run the quarterback, and that's how we ball control people, is being able to run the ball inside. So really happy with the offensive line. They're tough, they're rugged, but there's some times where they were changing the line of scrimmage on us. We didn't change the line of scrimmage every single time. So credit to FAU, they had some tough guys in there battling us.
Now, defense should force some punts early, and then Max DiDomenico, obviously in the second half, made a critical interception. How do you feel like the defense grew in this game?
I said last week that we kind of have this bend, don't break mentality, and sometimes we penned a little too much, and it gives me a lot of anxiety watching us bend. But again, we came up with some plays. That interception, Casey Larkin was on top of the receiver, and Max was undercutting him, and Max made a really good play, go up there and high point the ball, and then the stop on the goal line. They got it all the way down there, and then we were able to get them stopped. Two plays from inside the 2, so it was big. I thought they did a great job.
Joe.
Hey, Coach Monken, Joe Icon of GoBlackKnights.com.
I usually see you on the computer.
I know. We're games in Florida, so
I don't blame
easier
you.
trip
Stick
from
around
Georgia,
for a couple
right?
of days.
Exactly. So, the offensively, you guys were able to rush for over 400 yards. Huge game. Would you say you did everything you wanted to from an offensive game planning standpoint? And then number 2, talk about Noah Short and his development and maturation a little bit. Obviously, he had a massive game.
We are a long way from being where I would have liked to have been coming out of today's game on offense. Yes, we rushed for a bunch of yards, but man, we left a lot out there. Some perimeter blocks we didn't get. Just running the zone, running the power inside, not getting our pads and our hat where it needed to be. We got our face crossed a couple of times. I mean, those are all things that we're going to have to do as the season goes along, and teams continue to improve. Teams get better and better as the season goes along, and so the next team we play is going to be better than they were when they started the season. And so if we don't improve those things, we're going to find ourselves, we're going to pay a price for it. So I'm really happy with Noah. We challenged him last week just in finishing some plays and playing hard all the way to the whistle, even without the ball. We'll find out more as we watch the film from today. But he's got, for us, he got relatively good speed. I'm not sure if it was a track meet today, if he'd have run any of the sprint races against their guys. They got a really fast football team, but he's got good speed, and he did a nice job a couple of times of, he's trying to get around the edge, get around the corner he could, and he puts foot in the ground and kind of punctured and got some good yards that way. So he's worked really hard. He moved from defense, played a defensive position as a freshman, and we moved him last year. And he's essentially playing a different position than he played last year. He's still a slot, but it's 2 completely different positions. And he's worked hard on his hands. He's worked hard on his blocking. So I'm happy with the job he's done. Coach Romero's been coaching him and doing a good job with that. Good stuff.
Hey, Coach, Bill Crawford, ESPN 97.7 from Hunts, Vegas, Alabama.
I know. You too. You like guys coming down in South Florida. Bring your Speedo with you?
You wouldn't want to know the answer to that. But a question I have, I know last year there were concerns about the blocking schemes and so forth and the new rules. But 2 games into the season, even though there were a couple of hiccups today, it seems like the coaching staff has got that figured out.
Well, I still wish we could block below the waist. I think there's, some of those runs on the perimeter when we could cut block, that there would be more yards in those runs. Being able to keep the linebackers from inside the box getting to the perimeter, it's a lot easier to do that when you can cut block, or when we could cut block. And we got called a couple of times. Hopefully, when we see it, our guys were using good technique. We're not teaching our guys to cut block down the field. We stick our shoulder right there at their belt, which is still above the waist, and we try to do that. Sometimes it probably looks like it's below the waist, and that might have been the hiccup. But the rules are what they are. We can't control it. What we can control is how we teach our guys to overcome that and use good fundamentals that are within the rules and help us execute the blocks that we need to.
Hey, Coach, one more thing. I know typical coach answer one leg at a time, take one game, da-da-da-da-da. But how sweet was this one? I mean, coming down here as an underdog, first conference game, and in my opinion, having a pretty decisive win.
Oh, it's good to get a win and to play, excuse me, our first game in a conference. Like I said, it's a motivating factor. But our guys just want to win. They want to play well. They like playing together. And it's just important to try to prepare and win every game. And it really doesn't matter who we're playing and what conference it is. And if we're an underdog or a favorite, or it doesn't make any difference. We're just trying to play our very best. We didn't play our very best today, but we played good enough to win, and I'm glad we did. But we'll figure out those things that weren't our best and try to correct them so we give ourselves a chance against Rice.
I would say 2 owls down, 1 owl to go. Huh?
Now, we got 2 more to come. We got a lot of owls in this league. 2 more in a row.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll go to 2 on Zoom quick. Ken McMillan, go ahead.
Jeff, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You guys went 6 for 6 on drives last week, and you scored on your first 2 today. But then you had 3 series come to an end. How did you react at that point, and what did it say about the offense producing 2 drives to start up the second half?
Well, we got ourselves, we'd say, off schedule, where we had ourselves in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, 3rd and medium. That's not where we want to be. We want to get that thing. We'd ideally like to have that marker at 2nd and 6 or less. That's ideal, because that opens up a lot more things that we can do. And we overcame some bad scenarios, and we're able to sequence some plays and get some first downs even with long yardage, which is great that we were able to do that and overcome that. But we are always trying to play the sticks. We're not an offense that we feel like we got to score on this player, we got to score real quick, and we're content to just try to move the sticks and try to figure out what the defense is offering in terms of opportunity for us, and then we try to attack those areas and those opportunities. Florida Atlantic did a good job. They made some changes with their secondary and the way they were supporting the run, and early on we hit some good plays on the perimeter. We hit the big touchdown pass, and they made some adjustments, which that's credit to them. And what we try to do is adjust on the other side and make some changes. And we had that last drive of the first half, the last full drive of the first half going, and we were in scoring position. We could at least have been in position to kick a field goal, but we fumbled the ball, and so that's frustrating, obviously. But to answer and to respond and come out the second half and score to stretch a lead, that was important for us. It took some pressure off of the defense, and when we finally got the fake field goal and got it to 3 scores, it really gave us some breathing room, and that allows us to call the game with a little less pressure on us for getting first down and getting scores, and it puts the pressure on the other team to have to score and score quickly, because at that point they were 3 scores down. They were going to have to come up with a couple of touchdowns and at least in order to have a chance to win the game.
Jeff, what did you essentially tell Kanye following the fumble, and then you didn't play him for about 12 of your next snaps, and then he came back in and played pretty well, so tell us about that.
Same thing I tell everybody that fumbles the ball. If you can't keep 2 hands on the ball and you fumble the ball, then you can't play. And so that's that. I mean, you can choose to carry the ball with 1 hand, but you have to do that in practice, because you're not going to do that in the game. So he went out there and did better when he got the ball. He got a chance again. He gave another chance, and he said it won't happen again, and I told him it better not. So it did, at least for today. So hopefully that'll last.
Thank you, Jeff.
But he's a great kid, and I love him, and I told him so after the game. He's a terrific player, very talented. And he's gonna help us win a lot of football games.
Thanks,
Coach,
Ken.
could you tell us a little about that goal line stand and the defense down there, and how they played to keep them out?
That was just gritty and tough, and I'm really proud of those guys. So we stopped them on 2nd down on the run, and they had it down to the 1 yard line, and they went fast. And we knew that they were going to run the exact same play. They just aligned again in the same formation. We knew the same play was coming. Our guys did too, and a couple of guys shot that gap. and we stopped them for a 1 yard loss. And then we were able to make a play there on 4th down to keep them out of the end zone. Just a gritty, tough effort by our defense to keep them out of there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
you.
everyone. That'll be it.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Enjoy